Bodies are talking to us all day long, but the question is, are we listening to it? For example, okay, when you have to pee, what do? You say, what? Oh, I'll pee in a second. But you don't go at that moment. When you're thirsty, you're hungry, and something's going on, something's happening in front of you, what do you tell yourself? Oh, I'll eat later. I got some time. When you're tired or you're sleepy and you need some rest, what are you going to do? Just like me, I'd be like, oh, it's okay. I'll just do it later. I'll go to bed at nighttime. I don't want to use that. I don't want to waste. Excuse me. Let me slow down. That's for me. But I don't want to waste or utilize my time or spend the time that I have, little time I have, on me resting at this time. Like, I'm going to go to sleep. I'm going to deep sleep. And I'm not going to wake back up. That's my thought when it comes to it. So I don't do it. The thing is this. What message are you telling yourself, right, in your body, in your own way? What message are you coming across from it? That you're not important, that you don't matter. That's what the message is when you waste or you spend, not waste, but when you suspend those things. You know, when you got to pee or your body's telling you, hey, we got to use the bathroom. Hey, we need some rest. Hey, we're hungry. We got to do this. We got to do that. And you don't listen to it. You don't honor those things. It's so funny because when my son was young, he was a baby and he was potty trained. And, you know, that's what I think too. When we were babies and younger, we had to listen to our bodies at the time so we can learn to potty train. And this showed me with my son. When he was younger, he was a baby and I was potty training him. He would do this thing. When he first was potty training, I would have to be the one to tell him, go pee. Hey, every 15 minutes I would have an alarm and I would say, go pee, go pee, go pee. Because he didn't quite know the signals of his body. Not all the way, not yet. And he wouldn't listen to them, is what I would think. But, you know, obviously two connection of listening and feeling and knowing that feeling to piss. So I would, you know, let him go to the bathroom. So over time, he also started to realize, let me slow down. That's for me. I would start to realize over time, like, okay, so he started to realize, he started to grab it and grasp it. What happened is he ended up getting this thing where he would have to use the bathroom. But what he would do is, instead of going to the bathroom, he would start holding his penis. And I didn't realize it when he first started doing this, like the first 2 months. But he would have to pee and he would hold his penis and he would just be doing something. And I would be like, do you got to pee? And he'd be like, no, because I started to catch on a little bit. And he'd be like, no, no. I'm like, oh, okay. And so what would happen is 15 minutes later or 30 minutes later, he'd pee on himself. And I'd be like, so I started to connect the dots. When he's holding his penis, he has to pee. But he's doing the thing of, oh, I'll do it later. Then he's later on peeing on himself. And he'd be like, dang, like I thought I had it. I thought I could hold it. And he couldn't. So when he holds his penis, I started to realize that's a signal that he has to pee. So then I would say, go pee. And he'd be like, no, it's okay. Go pee. And I would stop him. Like, you're going to go pee right now. There is no choice, because otherwise you're going to go pee yourself. You know, he wasn't listening to what his body was telling him. He was trying to hold it off. But then he wasn't even peeing in the potty when he needed to. So it was kind of like a edged sword on both sides. The hugest things that I was trying to teach him while potty training, and I think that we all had to learn the same thing, was recognize the signal, trust the signal, and I wrote it down, respond to the signal. Those are the 3 things. So I guess the question is, when did I stop doing that with myself? You know? And when did you stop doing that with yourself? You know, like, as adults, we do the same thing. We're tired. We keep going. You know? We're hungry. And we say, we'll eat later. And if, you know, I wrote some notes down. This is mine. If we feel, or if I feel overwhelmed, I'll say, I'm still get it done. You know? And if I'm angry, I usually say, don't feel that. Not right now. You know? That's especially like with sadness too. You know? Like sometimes when I tell people or say, like, you know, my body sometimes will tell me, at least mine does, when it's like, I need a minute. And I'll just say, like, there's no time for that right now. Not right now. And the reality of it is that when that all happens, I am communicating something with myself when I do that. And I think we all are. Like I said, the fact of that you're not really important, that you really don't matter, you know? And I think I wrote some stuff down here. And I think that what I'm exploring, whether repeatedly ignoring myself, teaches me, like what it actually teaches me. And it teaches me my needs can wait, my feelings can wait, my body, everybody, everything else comes first. What I'm experiencing isn't important enough to stop for. You know, right now, I will say that one thing that I'm learning that I see as a signal, as like the holding the penis like my son did when he had to pee, as a signal he has to use the bathroom, for me is like when I talk super fast. Like I'll start stumbling with my words, like I'll do like that. And back in the day, I used to either do this thing where I just stop talking altogether. So I always stop talking. And that's one side, like that, I would just be like, you know, because me and my sisters would make a joke. We would make a joke about it or be like, girl, you stumbling, are you stuttering or whatever. So it'd be like a joke kind of thing being made. But what I realized was, you know, and sometimes too, I won't allow to get annoyed or irritated. I think that's why I stopped talking, because I would get annoyed or irritated at myself. Like, why you can't just talk? Why you just didn't let that go? Why you just can't talk normal and just able to say those words, even if I want to do it fast, to do it. It would be some kind of anger a little bit at myself, just a little bit, not too much. Instead of me consistently judging myself harshly, I started to lean towards into learning why my body, why my mouth, my head, like the brain to my mouth and the words coming out, why did I do that? I started learning more faster on realizing what my body was trying to tell me, like it was telling me something when that was happening. It was at times when I felt pressure, when I felt was feeling anxious or nervous or honestly rushing like myself. That the reality was that I just needed to slow down, you know, rather than trying to fight myself. It's so crazy to think about that I was trying to fight myself. You know, there's a saying and it goes, no branch is crazy enough. No tree, let me get this right. I think it's no branch is crazy enough to fight itself, because it knows that it's on the same tree. Does that make sense? I learned that I was fighting myself internally. That was what I was, the anger and the stuff. But it was really people's judgment of when I would stutter, of when I would stammer, of when I would go, you know, have super fast and I would stumble on my words and I would miss up on the words. People's judgment, people's faces, you know, of it, that I kind of put more on me because of looking at them or what they would say, you know, the jokes or whatever when it come to it. And, you know, instead of continuously fighting myself, when I learned why I was doing it in moments when I was doing it, I learned to hold space for that kind of stuff, to stop myself at that moment, to breathe, to slow down, and then to continue. And part of me kind of felt like the world wouldn't wait for me. Like I couldn't take up space. But I realized even doing something so simple, and it's so simple to me. You know, when I do it, to stop and say, give me a second, and take up a little space here, you know. You know what I'm saying? Take your time. You can take up space. So I hesitate to myself. And then I go and keep going. You know, just give myself that moment to kind of stop. That's me actually responding to that signal. Now, before, I think I would, in a way, do what my son was doing when he was holding his penis, but I don't know how it would be contested that. I think me bowing out or getting upset at myself, because that's what he would do too. That's what, when he pissed on himself after he held him, he'd be like, dang it, oh, or he would start crying. I would always say, it's okay, we are learning, it's fine. But that anger that he had is what I would use to myself when I would stammer or stumble and I would fawn, you know, back, hide, and do all this other stuff, because I'm like, now they're going to judge me, or now they're going to think this or whatever. So now I would start fighting myself, you know, instead of learning and growing, until recently where I was like, I'm going to take up space and I'm going to pause and I'm going to stop, because that's what I need. And I do it by myself. And so I'm going to do it in front of you too. And you can just react to me doing it. If you don't like it, that's your thing. Nothing to do with me. But I'm going to do it because I need that right now in this season. And I do it the first time I see it. Whenever I see it, I do it. I make space and room for it. And so this week, my mind, and I got a couple things I want to do this week, and honestly just keep doing what I'm practicing. And yeah, but this week my goal is to listen to my body the first time, to honor it the first time. If I gotta pee, I'm going to go pee. If I gotta go, if I'm thirsty, like right now, I'm kind of thirsty right now. See, I'm going to listen to it right now. I'm kind of thirsty. Give me a second. But if I'm thirsty, y'all, I'm going to honor that, honor my body and listen to it. I'm going to drink something to drink. If I'm hungry, I'm going to eat, instead of me saying, oh, wait. And if I am feeling tired and exhausted and need some rest, time to myself, I'm going to give myself that, I'm not going to push on the back burner on the side and be like, push it away like I've done before to give my body the same response, which is you don't matter. This thing matters first. This thing matters first. This thing matters first. When it does matter. The thing that is going to get me to be to the end of my life, my body matters. And yours does too. So, I wrote it down. If I have to pee, I'm going to go. If I'm thirsty, I'm going to drink. If I'm tired, I'm going to acknowledge it. And if I'm rushing, I'm going to slow down. If an emotion comes up, I'm going to listen before I react. And listening to an emotion doesn't mean obeying every impulse, every reaction, every action, like doing something at somebody that the emotion creates. You can listen to frustration. Feeling frustrated is normal. Taking out that frustration on another person is not. It's okay to feel it. It's not okay for you to take it on somebody else because you feel frustrated, and there's a difference in that. You can feel anger without becoming aggressive. And aggression and anger are two different things. Anger is me. I'm feeling it. It's my body. Aggression is anger at somebody. It's not the same thing. Okay? And aggression is actually normal. If somebody's trying to come at you or attack you, you got to be aggressive. You got to do what you got to do. But if you're in a relationship with somebody or a friendship or a sistership, whatever, and you have that anger at somebody instead of you, listen to the signals of your body and feeling it and processing it and allowing yourself to experience that wave of that emotion, that's going to be a whole other thing because it's going to turn into aggression. You're going to go out, you're going to have it out at somebody else and never address the real issue, the real emotion that you have inside of yourself. Because all emotions are important and they matter, all of them, to you, like inside of you, inside of me. Not so much that I have to go out and do something to somebody else, if that makes sense. Yes. I'm trying to read my notes. Have missed anything? So this week, I am learning to listen more to my body, and I would desire that you would also take some time to listen to yours too. And that's all I want to say. I'm trying to see if I want to say anything else. No, that is it. Okay, guys. I love you. And you guys have a great rest of your evening. I'm so excited because I got the video done sooner than I wanted to because I was going to do it later. So I got it done in a perfect time. Everything always happens in a perfect timing. There's nothing, I don't believe in late timing anymore. You guys have a great day. Goodbye. I love you.